Right, so sometimes it's really about the things that most likely can happen. That's when you're doing pre-match analysis, you look at them and you're like, this thing can happen. And I've had about 4 or 5 different people on my contacting me that are telling me that, I mean, almost everything that I said in the pre-match analysis seemed to have come through in that big game away at the St. Mary's Park, Chelsea versus Southampton. Obviously, a game there and a 5 goals to 1, a very, very good one. And again, like I said over here, it's back to back to back to back because there is a lot of football in this festive season. And every time we'll bring you the tactical analysis, post-match, pre-match. I mean, off the field analysis, you get the best thing on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So like we do, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification. In notification turn, make sure so we choose you all. Send it back anytime there content about drop it. You are first to have it here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. But how did it happen? See, Enzo Maresca, a genius. Enzo Maresca, he's a real genius. Before we went into this game, we made mention of the fact that Liverpool match on the ball against Newcastle, a banana skin game, and Liverpool can drop points over there. We also did mention say Arsenal match normally Manchester United, but you can't just rule out Manchester United and say that they can't get anything out of the game, and it's going to be a game that's going to be a little bit difficult even for Arsenal. So imperative for Chelsea to get results against Southampton. But that said, we all knew that when you are playing against playing against Southampton side now this season, they've shown moments where they've been good, but they've also shown lots of moments where they're very, very vulnerable. I mean, throughout the games this season, in a game against Liverpool, they showed vulnerability. In a game against your friend of Manchester City, they showed some level of vulnerability over there. So they've had lots of moments of vulnerability over games, but away from that, also they showed moments where they've been good. So you need to be careful. In the pre-match analysis, I did mention say Enzo Maresca would make a lot of changes and wholesale changes, and he did 7 changes in the Euro game. And it made a lot of people confused. Say, how was Enzo Maresca going to line up for match? Because I was starting with Joao Felix, I was starting with Palmer, I was starting with Kuku, Obo Marco Crea, Obo 2 centre backs in put here. It surprised everybody. Desasi and it was in Adria Biayo. Then on the right hand side, still played Malo Gusto. The worry was how were Chelsea going to build up, and that's what I'm saying. Said Enzo Maresca a genius. And if you look at the results that came into it, by the time I'm shooting video away, Liverpool and Newcastle was a 3-3 game. It had already ended. Not already Arsenal and Manchester United there 1-0 for Arsenal, and that City Asher team my friend Nottingham Forest by 2-0. I mean 3-0. So obviously there were going to be some changes in the English Premier League and the things that were going to go on from there. But you go into the game, and the first opening, Osha State Chelsea starting lineup on the starting match now, and like I did say, there were 7 different changes in a Chelsea. Changes in the middle of the park, changes at centre back, changes in terms of what Chelsea wanted to play. Now, Osha match now. First of all, now a very hard so over predict Chelsea shape, and that's why video will give you the pre-match analysis. Now I see Chelsea started with a nominal formation of Tosin Adrebiayo, Axel Desasi, Malo Gusto, Marco Crea, Enzo Fernandez, Moise Caicedo, Joao Felix, Cole Palmer, Noni Madueke, and your branch friend Christopher and Kuku leading the lines over there, which is the plan for team your friend Chelsea in there. Now the plan was that you realize that Chelsea could sense, Enzo Maresca could sense it. So we'll share Brighton for now. So we'll share Southampton for now. They want to play out from the back, and they're stubborn. Russell Martin is a very stubborn manager. He will play out from the back, and he makes a lot of mistakes. So what Enzo Maresca planned when he went into the game is that allow him to do that, but we will also commit a lot of men to press, not as intense as Aston Villa match. So in the pre-match analysis, one of the things I've seen is that Chelsea probably were not going to press as intense as they did in the game against Aston Villa, because the players are not going to be in the same, they're not going to have the same energy levels when they play in the game against Southampton. It was always going to be different. And that's why I think Enzo Maresca earns his money, knowing that only intensity. So now he goes in with a level of numerical superiority, quantitative superiority, throwing in a lot of men forward to go in man for man against my friend Southampton, but not as intense against like in the game against Aston Villa. Now, in doing this, it makes that Chelsea air building up for a cheer. Also, when you say Southampton for they need very good transitional threat. So again, another game where Enzo Maresca goes in and does the Rex reward thing, or starting one with Chiono, but it was just two centre backs and then build it up, and he inverted Malo Gusto. Then made Chelsea a branch friend Marco Correa. Once Chelsea moves on for the first phase of build-up, goes to keep the weight. Senebaya, Joao Felix can come inside into the left half space. Cole Palmer is going to be in the right half space. Then Enzo Fernandez is going to be the +1 in almost every zone. So Chelsea are building up, he can be the +1. But there have been Malo Gusto who was inverted into the right as well. So it's more like a diamond with Cole Palmer at the apex of it and having a lot of central superiority, a lot of central overload on FIFA. And for me, that's why I'm saying that he is excellent. Yes, in times where he wanted to get a 3-2 in build-up, then he used Philippe Jorgensen as a third centre-back. So also, anytime Chelsea had the ball, it was Philippe Jorgensen, Tosin Adrebiayo, and a bunch of Axel, Desassi, opening up to form the battery in there. Then Moise Caicedo will be the single pivot. Right ahead of him on the left-hand side, Enzo Fernandez and Malo Gusto. Then on top of the diamond, your friend Cole Palmer in there. Now, because Cole Palmer is right in there, up top Chelsea had with in a branch of friend Marco Correa. Then of course, there was always going to be Joao Felix and Noni Madueke on the other side, and Christopher and Kukutusha. Almost every time, Chelsea have 5 players in the middle of the park because they've done overcommitting. One, Odim set Southampton for any transitional trade. But the truth of the matter is that once the game began, Chelsea began to feel that Southampton for a little bit stubborn. Southampton were being a little bit aggressive. Of course, they were playing at home. They were trying to create the best chances. They were trying to open up Chelsea. And that really made the game very, very open. Hugely open. Until when Chelsea got a free kick, and obviously, again, I think that at the beginning of the season, a lot of the Chelsea fans were asking questions about Chelsea's set piece coach. Aston Villa, no, Brentford, they asked a lot of questions about him. Bernardo Cueva, how is he going to play? How good is he? Is Chelsea going to get the best out of him as a manager? Is he going to improve the players? And it's man. But you watch this game like this, and the goal that Chelsea scored from the set piece. Yes, there was a lot of mistake from the Southampton goalkeeper, but then good job done by a branch friend Marco Correa to block at the back, to block the goalkeeper and then get Axel Desassi to run in on goal, a free running on goal. I think that it was an excellent one, and one from the training ground, one of the first ones that Chelsea actually set piece from a routine, from a dead ball situation, and it looked to be a very good one. Now, right away from that, the right-hand side in Chelsea, Eveti Malo Gusto. Now, Omunim said, Cole Palmer and Noni Madueke probably were not in tune in terms of dropping back to come and help in defense, to come and close down teams now. Then Southampton began to push the ball through there. They began to overload those areas with a lot of balls, and then they cut back a lot. Inti Cameron Archer took the ball from that side, cut back and found a branch of Joe Aribo, and then they got the first one, making it 1-1 at that point in time for Team Alfredo Aston Villa. Of course, you could see Zé Martin Russell on the touchline was beaming in confidence and was urging his boys on, say, maybe this is the day that, because again, Chelsea are making a lot of changes, 7 changes. It was going to affect them. How are they going to maintain the momentum? A lot of changes. They were thrown Axel Desassi, Tosin Adrebiayo, they have mistakes in them. But then what a performance from a brand friend Philippe Jorgensen. I think that it was excellent. Even before that equalizer, he had made about 2 or 3 different saves that were thrown. It showed how much of a good backup goalkeeper he is. Again, with his feet, you have a lot of confidence in a branch friend Philippe Jorgensen when he's playing out from the back end. He showed to be very, very good in that regard. And for me, I was excited that he played out. And again, like I said, there was a rocky start. There were a lot of gaps, always trying to, not Southampton made it a little bit easy to open us because, again, like I said, there were the intensity to press up top wasn't high. Again, Chelsea just committed numbers up top, but then these guys are not guys that work so hard without the ball. Someone like Nkunku, Joao Felix don't work as hard without the ball. Noni Madueke back to the side has been good. And again, Oshe, just when Southampton Fonya saw equalizer now, then the overload on the right hand side. It was an overload of one Noni Madueke. There were times Enzo Fernandez will come there, and like I said, it's the numerical superiority. And a Noni Madueke 18 a chance to create separation and then shut out goal and then made it 2-1 over there as well. For before that, I think it was Christopher and Kuku's goal. Southampton, like we did say again in the pre-match press conference, I didn't mention say Southampton were stubborn and they would want to play out from the back. And in play out from the back, they make a lot of mistakes. They did it against City, they did it against Liverpool, and we're expecting Southampton were going to make mistakes against your friend Chelsea, and they did. One ball from deep, finding going into the middle of the park again, finding Archer, and of course a very very good ball reading ability from our branch friend Noni Madueke, who was able to pin it, and immediately he pinned that ball. He found Christopher and Kuku ahead of him, played it into his path, and the goal was gaping, and of course Chelsea were up by 2-1, and then later Noni Madueke ball. So it was a very good one. Like I said, it was a shape of a 2-2-5, and see the fact that Enzo Maresca is able to go into games and constantly be dynamic and change and prepare with from the point of view of the opponent as opponent specific preparation. I think that he's elite. And I mean, I said the last time, say Enzo Maresca is elite, but I mean, I think I need to re-echo it, say Enzo Maresca is top. Almost every game I've seen Enzo play this season, he has played specifically to the demands and the needs of the team. The only time maybe is our Manchester City game where he went in being a little bit careful, but even that game was largely dominated by Chelsea. So you go into a game like this and knowing, so like I said earlier, Southampton for transitional threat. It was same against Leicester City, but this one was even a little bit more. Throwing caution to win essentially, overload central areas, throw more men up front, build with just two, and the shape was a 2-2-5 shape. Hardly do you see something like this in terms of a 2-2-5 shape. I mean, not a nominal formation, a variation that we're throwing without a goalkeeper in build-up. And like I said, Enzo Maresca seems to be good because he knew, say, how many transitional threats. He said they'll make mistakes up top. So let's throw men there. Let's just set the trust for them. When they fall into the trust, let's pick it. Let's be more direct. Let's go into the channels and try and head them. It was a very, very good one. I think that in preseason, I saw stuff like that in terms of what Enzo and Abantia, João Felix could do if you're able to work hard without them. I think in the first half was okay. How spaces to cover the fullbacks and especially Felix on Kukureya's side. How was he going to have Felix? I think said one of the things that he did very well. Like I've said several times, I said I was one of the first people to criticize João Felix and his role off the ball, the things he did off the ball, how good he was off the ball, how not so good he was off the ball, and anytime man, all of those things that João Felix was doing on and off the ball. I had issues with him when he was coming to Chelsea. But how was he going to replicate? I think that this was a game Abrantia friend João Felix was good at it without the ball. He really ran back, really worked his socks off, really worked extra hard to make sure that Chelsea would get the numbers behind the ball, to make sure so Abrantia friend Marco Correa without the ball, and then make sure that Chelsea were going to be solid without the ball. Another set piece goal, and I think so, like I said, also an assist from Enzo Fernandez, and one that you want to see that Chelsea are building from in that regard. It was very, very important. In fact, by halftime, I think that it was. I love Chelsea group, and the fact that you can play like this, you can rest Romeo Lavia, especially in the context of what happened elsewhere. The draw away at the St James Park to Liverpool was something that was very important. A lot of performances to think of. Malo Gusto again, I said was good. Enzo Fernandez, Noni Madueke, Felix Jorgensen, excellent. At the back, and again another performance where Enzo Fernandez was brilliant over there. And I like the fact that there's a lot of cohesion in the team. Players they seem to like each other. Everybody seems to be around one another. They seems to be playing well. They seems to have very good conversations among themselves. Even when Sobia and Bokrampuna Omujinechek can see that they are supporting each other. Now look at that goal, Kopama goal. Essentially in the second half, Chelsea had a lot of chances. I think Noni Madueke should have scored 2 or 3 of them. But the way he one assist, 1 goal. And maybe he was happy, he was okay to get those numbers, but then he should have done better. I think that he could have scored more. And when they gave him, he didn't do that, and then let the game, move off away from him in that regard. And that's something I didn't like. But in the second half, Chelsea essentially dominated play, sustained pressure, and of course got very, very close. That's how one ball from a branch friend of João Felix found Christopher and Kuku. And Kuku was tackled, and the ball was 50-50 in front of a branch friend Cole Palmer. And of course, Cole Palmer was able to get his goal, also increasing his tally. Also in the English Premier League, keeps on going up and up and up and up this season. Also, the second half, a lot of the players named Freemore, they are branching friend of Jadon Sancho. Jadon obviously came on and then got a very good goal. And I think that it's good to say Jadon able to make a goal for Chelsea because he has been coming. I think that the tactical tweaks on the game has been very excellent, and I like it from Enzo Maresca for how he wanted to build in the game, how he wanted to play, how he knew said he could exploit Southampton for the it was an important game plan to go into the game with and to make sure say Chelsea will get the results in there. I like it, especially from the point of view. And this it means that this is the fourth time Enzo Maresca against Russell. Our share a game against Southampton. Goal difference, no Chelsea and a game, even if Arsenal wins over there. Of course, attacking stats part, Joao Palmer, Felix, and Kuku all were able to play with each other over there. It means that Chelsea are going to go in second with 28 points, with Liverpool with 35 points. It means that Chelsea is 7 points away from Liverpool, and the season is very, very long. Official man of the match, Ekoma, Abranche Feni, Noni Madueke, and I think that in the right hand side, I know you're very, very blistering over there. Shaky start, like we all said, how things were going to go on. Chelsea personally eventually became better. Maresca prioritizing many players in attack, just to make sure somebody more pressing. But of course, in the first half, wasn't so good. Of course, I forgot to even mention that Southampton forced the red card as the game did way on. And I think that it was a very, very good performance from Chelsea. Of course, then Nicolas Jackson got touch slider, so wanting to score a goal. He really wanted to score a goal, but the goal wasn't coming over there. He wanted to make sure a goal on him. What record are Chelsea hitting? Chelsea are hitting goal post now. I mean, a lot of the times over there, I mean, I was matching and they needed to come in and play well. So by the time at Chelsea, Abba game now to the 78th minute. Now Chelsea were now dominating possession. Of course, like I said, normal paying Southampton 40 back. Southampton had 49% possession. Chelsea had 51. Expected goals to Southampton here were 1.47. Chelsea here were 4.99. So that time match of 4 goals. Big chances, Southampton 4, Chelsea 10. Total shot, not chance, Southampton about 6. Chelsea about 24. Goalkeeper saves, Philip Jorgensen make it 3. And a corner kicks, Chelsea that was 6 at the time. 10 big chances, and Chelsea missing. I think that this was a game, and Chelsea beating actually a lot of goals in there. But of course, like I said, Abrante Feni Noni Madueke, he looked very, very, very casual. Very casual in that regard. Didn't look say no, especially a lot of goals, but he could have scored more. That was how much Chelsea and in Southampton boy away over there at the St. Mary's Park. Now it means also, and then in terms of the English Premier League, baby our teams stay down there very, very interesting. And Chelsea seem to be in a very good place as it stands now. Arsenal leading Manchester United by a goal to 0. And on a game a young here. But if you go to the English Premier League table as it stands now and use the Arsenal match almost here in terms of current form, whether they get +1 or not. Arsenal about 14 matches, was 27 goals, were considered 14. Over the Chelsea actually 31, were considered 15. In 28 points, and of course, Fiifi-Manfred and Arsenal are 28 points as well if they win that game. Manchester City winning, they are on 26 points. Brighton and Hove Albion about just 13 games as stands now. Almost 23 games, 23 points. So now there's beginning to be some difference. I see on them in terms of the number of games that teams have, the number of matches, and of course, the difference up top. Like I said, this week games to do are very, very important. And Chelsea really needed to get a job done. It means that Chelsea might have rested players, especially for Nicolas Jackson in that game against Tottenham Hotspur when Chelsea go away to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Any easy match. And Chelsea know, so if they're able to get 3 points away at Tottenham, then really, they won't just be dreaming, but they'll be doing a lot of good things for themselves, our club, and they'll be in a very good place. Yeah, can I say Newcastle match? It was going to be tricky for Newcastle and Liverpool. Let me kind of if you have not followed the analysis, I did mention it wasn't going to be easy for Liverpool to go away to go and beat Newcastle United. It was always going to be a tricky match. I mean, given how Liverpool play, given how Newcastle play, especially under the floodlights at the St. Mary's Park, it was always going to be a difficult one. And the game was hugely transitional. You can't take anything away from Newcastle side. It ended 3-3. Very good game all around. Of course, Mohamed Salah got his goal again. My brother friend Anthony Gordon got his goal also. That was matching a very, very important goal for that regard. Mohamed Salah the goal. The last goal was scored by Brantier friend Alexander Ishak, assisted by Bruno Gamirash. Of course, Mohamed Salah said, Mane 3 goes to 2, assisted by Curtis Jones, Anthony Gordon. Of course, once Salah was beginning to get goals and Ishak goals, we knew that goals were going to come into the city. English Premier League in the shape, but like Chelsea have gone away to get a result as it stands now. In the Spanish La Liga, games were going on. in the Spanish La Liga, no, that games air so we can also quickly dart into the Spanish La Liga near Dinkomo. Madrid against Athletic Bilbao. We knew it was going to be a difficult game. That Madrid for end that form by 2-1 in that match against Athletic Bilbao away at the Bucks area. Difficult game by our standard. We knew that it was not going to be an easy game at all for FC Real Madrid, and then we knew that it was going to be a tough game for Madrid in that regard. And how was it going to pan out? Like, no, that's exactly what we are talking about here. Arsenal issues, any more matches, no more games, normal for Arsenal. So any more results, Barca were able to score. Were Madrid going to get their results? Was it going to be an easy one for them? Say Madrid being on results, and now Glasgow Rangers, all of these things now. Our matches and you come I say on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, of course. You better draw gettings now for and then you make conversation on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube about our Chelsea game and Southampton, and also all the results across the world of football. And we'll come back to you with proper in-depth post-match analysis and what Chelsea have to do as the season goes on, especially in the lead up to Tottenham Hotspur game. And if really maybe it is time for Chelsea to begin to think about the Champions League spot. 40 games and 40 points will put Chelsea to stay in English Premier League. But then again, they need about 60 of them to make sure somebody in the Champions League. Then hopefully around 70 something points to show that Chelsea can be in the top 3. It's a tight season, a long season. Chelsea have a long way to go. But then one man down again, and this time Martin Russell from Southampton side. And of course, the rest of the games now because over the weekend against my friend Tottenham Hotspur, and then the subsequent ones will go in the Conference League, and then next one's because Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Won't subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe and turn on notification.